Good morning, good morning. Andy and I here. I think you can see Andy back there. Actually, I should try this side. I never tried this side before. I never walked down here. So the path, there's not really a path though. But since everything's dead, I can kind of walk down here. Thanks for joining my channel, where I talk about mental health as spiritual health and vice versa. And in the morning, I like to talk about a Bible verse. I'm gonna switch cameras real quick. I like to talk about a Bible verse at sunrise, but unfortunately, you can see the sun usually comes up through the trees there, and it's not. We got clouds. Hey, good morning, Vicky. How are you? I'm trying a different area of the fence. Good morning, Frank. Today we're going to talk about fear of the unknown, and we're going to be in the Gospel of John, chapter 16, verses 31 through 33. Fear of the unknown, Gospel of John, chapter 16, verses 31 through 33. Now, first, I'm not a pastor or preacher or therapist or doctor of any sort, but I do believe mental health is spiritual health, and it can help. Spiritual health can help us in many different ways, and that's why I get up and do this, talk about the Bible first thing in the morning. And I get a lot of my content from the Our Daily Bread booklet. Not been up long, Vicky. Gotta get some coffee. Speaking of getting up, do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and just are fearful? Hey, good morning, Dolly. Boy, Dolly's up early. Ever be fearful of what could happen that day or what's gonna happen that day? Trust me, I do. It weighs heavily on me. Many days. Sometimes overwhelming me with dread. Just like my physical symptoms, I know actually what I have before my doctors even. It's just not good. It's not good. It's almost unbelievable that someone could do this. But there's illness, there's thoughts of the future, and we can just be afraid. And will more bad things happen? We ask ourselves over and over again. And I wonder the same thing, and when. And all I can think of is Jesus' disciples. They felt the same way. Annie, there's nowhere to walk over here. I'm gonna go back. She keeps going on this side. Come on, Annie. Jesus' disciples felt the same way. Jesus even told them in this Gospel of John that they were going to desert him and that Peter was going to deny him. And when he was arrested, they all ran and scattered and hid, even though Jesus told them to take heart and that he has overcome the world. They still ran away and hid. But his death and his resurrection proved his authority over life and death. And he has ultimate victory. So even though we're going to suffer in this sinful world, make sure that suffering is certainty. And believe me, Satan is still in the world. I know him personally. Even though Satan is still in this world, I'm going to switch the camera. We can rest in the truth that all things are subject to the authority of God, ultimately. And that's the only thing that gives me peace. And the fact that I know where I'm going. And when Jesus says, and God tells us to not be afraid, which is what he tells us more than anything in the Bible, there's nothing that's commanded more in the Bible than do not be afraid. And we just have to remember that his presence is with us, just as it was with his disciples, who, after Jesus' resurrection, did take heart according to his instruction and confidently went on and shared the gospel to the world, which is why we know about it today. So hopefully God's promise that he's in control can strengthen our hearts to trust him in whatever we do, and we can be courageous, even if we don't know what the future's going to bring. You know? And that's the only thing we can do, is trust him. Translucent. Annie is a dog. Where is Annie? She's up. She's in between the. She's in this woods, wooded line in between the fence and a creek. There's a creek back here. It's pretty cool. And then you got a hill with some woods behind it. And then 2 fence lines into farmland. It's really pretty. Really pretty. So, just remember, Jesus told us to take heart that he has overcome the world. I love that. John, Gospel of John, chapter 16, verse 33. In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. So whatever you're facing, your fears of the unknown and the future, even if it's today, just remember you can be courageous in Christ and take heart. Right, Annie? Annie, what are you doing? She just likes finding sticks. This is more of like a branch. Oh, I don't know where I am. It's some farmland owned by Ohio State University in the northwest side of Columbus. So Columbus, Ohio, which is central Ohio. It's the capital. It is really pretty. Unfortunately, there's no sunrise today because it's so cloudy, but it is pretty. It's isolated, so I can leave Annie off leash and not have to worry about it. For some reason, there's some kind of path here that I've worn down a little bit more over the last couple months. There's a path on the outside of the fence, just outside the farmland and next to the creek. You love the word Columbus. Country, you're in Ohio too. Where are you in Ohio? Country, that's an interesting name, Country. Yeah, I like this creek back here. Even though we've had 63-degree day, it still has snow back here because the creek, it must be so cold and shaded from the sun. I'm shocked that there's still snow back there. Yeah, it's really pretty. Really pretty. Oh, you're from Europe, Translucent. Wow. Hey, if you guys haven't already subscribed, please do so. I come out here every morning at sunrise and talk about a passage of the Bible. And then at night, we just hang out. And because of Frank, who's on this live right now, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of vinyl records, old vinyl records, original presses that we're going through that he found. Someone just threw them all away. He came across them, and they were actually being discarded because of a flood. He came across them and cleaned them all up, and we're going through them. We're not listening to every one unless you want to listen to them. We're kind of flipping through them at night. It's pretty fun. 740 country. Okay, gotcha. That's a wide area code. That's a weird one. That's all over Ohio. But the southern part, yeah. It was in the south somewhere. I missed something. Yeah. I don't know where Annie went. Just lost her. You can see a little bit of light out there, but not much. It's really cloudy. We're supposed to get some snow late tonight, and then it's going to turn to rain by the time we wake up. And then it might even stop. Oh, you meant the time, but it's your area code too. Okay. That's funny, country. Yeah, so if you guys haven't already subscribed, please do so. I'd really appreciate it. We just talk about the Bible, fear of the unknown today. Gospel of John, chapter 16. We can all get fearful, and we're not going to be able to escape bad things that happen in this world. It's still a fallen world. Christ hasn't come back yet. But we can take heart that Jesus is with us, and he's overcome the world, and he's overcome death if you can put your faith in him. And then after this world, you will live in perfect peace and love with him afterward. Hey, Mikey, aloha. From San Fran. Wow, it's early there, 4:42. Gone with the Wind was set in the south, but they film movies everywhere. Weird. Yep. Christ is coming back in California right now. Is he, country? Why do you say that? Ohio doesn't get many film crews, but in my opinion, the best movie ever made was filmed in Ohio. It was filmed at the old state prison in Mansfield, Ohio. Any guess what that movie is? It was filmed in a state prison in Mansfield, Ohio, and it starred Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. That probably gives it away. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yep, that's right, Mikey. Shawshank Redemption. I think that's the best movie ever created. I love that movie. It's one of the 3 that I have on disc. Yeah, that's a great movie. That was filmed, I can't believe all those people were actually in Mansfield, Ohio. That would have had to be a treat for that city, because that's not a very big city in Ohio either. So you can imagine if some of the people of that city saw Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins walking around their city, that had to be a joy. Yeah, that's a creepy old prison. That's why they filmed it there, I think. It was just a perfect setting for that movie. You know, that took place, I don't know when it took place, but wasn't it like I don't know if it was the 40s or the 50s or something like that. It took place long before it was actually filmed, so it added to the old age of the film. Oh, here comes Annie. Annie, what you doing? What you doing? You got a stick? You got a stick? Oh, this is not my farm, country. This is not my farm. I just come out here because there's an access path, probably for tractors to come back to this side. I don't know why. It's weird. It doesn't even make sense because the access path comes from an apartment complex. So there's a long access path from an apartment complex to get back to this area. And there's a gate back here. If I walk back here, you'll see the gate to enter this area. And then there's this path on the outside of the fence that I'm walking on. that allows me to do that. But out here, it used to be a sheep farm, and now they just have cows and horses, but I think it might be on the other side, not on this side of the farm. The only animal that Annie and I saw, I think it was yesterday, we saw a skunk. And then we got out of here. Public easements. Yeah, it seems like a public easement, but it might be a private easement because this is, someone owns this land. I don't know who. William Rizzo, morning from the Florida Keys. Wow, nice. Nice and warm down there. It's 26 here. Not too bad, not too cold, right, Annie? But yeah, here's the gate right here, this green gate you can see. There's 2 swing doors on it. It's very wide, so you can get any kind of farm equipment through it. And then here's the access. So I turn this way away from the fence. Here's the access path you can see. It goes back to an apartment complex. It makes no sense. And when you get to the apartment complex, there's a pond, like a retaining pond there. And then like a parking lot, but you have to go over those concrete barriers in the parking lot. So I don't think this is even used anymore. I don't understand why it's even here. Yeah, that skunk was fast. 74 degrees in the Florida Keys. How nice, William. No, the poles don't look very old. This is the second fence, though. You can see the first fence out there. And they actually come together pretty close, but then there's a passageway where the farm equipment can drive in between the 2 fences. 44 degrees in San Fran. Sounds about right. Walter White. I don't know Walter White. Hey, Fax Prods. Good morning. Say good morning, Annie. Let's see what she's got. What you got, Annie? You want to say good morning? Or are you just going to eat sticks? I can never get her to stop eating sticks, because then I pick it up and I throw it and she'll just pick up another one. Or she'll go and pick that one up that I threw. Even if I try to throw all the sticks on the other side of the fence, she'll go into the woods and find some sticks. I just give up. Public easement farm equipment passage. I agree, that's what it seems like, translucent, but you should see, there's no way, I can't even see how the farm equipment can get on to this easement road from the apartment side. And why would they even want to do that? Why would they even want to go deep into an apartment complex parking lot over tons of speed bumps? There's all kind of cars parked there. They can't get through the cars to this easement. It really makes no sense. I don't understand it. Get her some deer antlers. Okay, Mikey. That's funny. They do love sticks. Oh, I see. Yeah, those deer antlers. That's true. I heard those are good for dogs. Because rawhides aren't good. All right, guys. Yeah, maybe they don't want parking places. I don't know. This is kind of weird. I should show you where this thing starts. Like, you wouldn't believe that. It's almost like they come from the farm side and made this access path to the apartment complex and then turned around and came back to the farm. It's really strange. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off. We don't have any sunrise, unfortunately. Maybe tomorrow. But then again, it's going to be raining tomorrow, so doubtful. But I hope you guys have a good day. And if you're ever fearful, remember, that's the number one thing in the Bible. That's the number one command. That's the number one thing that God says. Someone counted up to 365 times in the Bible. God tells us, or Jesus tells us directly, do not be afraid. And that's what he told us in today's passage. Take heart, because I have overcome the world. So if you're worried about something today, just stop. Jesus is with you. God has authority over everything. It'll all work out in the end. All right? So you guys have a great day. And we'll see you tonight or tomorrow morning. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Have a great one, guys. Hey, translucent, be nice.